Amesbury School. Amesbury School is a preparatory school for children from the age of 2 to 13. Come on, let's have a look round. This is our main building, designed by Sir Edwin Lutyens, the person who built the Cenotaph in London, and he designed this as a school. We haven't had to adapt it. One of the things you might notice is that the windows are set at a level where children can see out. So it's not only does it combine aesthetic pleasure, but also it's very fit for purpose. We're inside the Lutyens building now, and on my right is reception, and on my left is an administrative office. If we follow me, then we can go through to the dining room, through here. We use primarily a servery system, although the younger ones, as you would expect, they have their teacher sit at the table with them. Come through. We're very lucky. It's a nice fusion of the traditional and modern, and if you can look on the left, you can just see the honours boards, because we have a long and distinguished history. Here's the servery. Our food is traditional, and yet we do win awards for the healthy eating aspect as well. And just on my right here is our honours board, and those old Amesburyans who served in the forces and lost their lives. So we have a long and distinguished history. This is our purpose-built Eyfs building. Sorry if there's a bit of noise here because it's the children. Hi, John. And also there's a bit of wind. So the brilliance of it is that the outside play, which you can see the children all enjoying, looks out onto the open playing fields as well. So what are we playing?
We're playing the penguin that bursts in a fire, and there's a meaning, and it looks at the
right.
jail, and the guest in jail.
Great. Okay. Well, I've just got to go inside to show these other parents inside as well. So you're all playing out. I might come back in a minute. All right. Yeah. See you in a minute. All right.
Bye.
As you can see, plenty of space, open plan, the perfect environment of easy access outside where we've just come from, and loads of well-resourced areas for the children to learn through play. So we're working our way through the Eyfs building. As I said, the children, they won't be in here at the moment because they're outside for their play. Give you some idea. Okay. Even more space. And everything, as you would expect, scaled down. The great thing about this building too is as we work our way through, it also opens up onto its own car park as well. So as you drop off in the morning, then you've got immediate access to the front of this building where you're welcomed by a member of staff. Just over here. So having enjoyed pre-nursery through to reception in our purpose-built Eyfs setting, the children then moved back to the Lutyens building, and upstairs is the home of years 1 and 2. On the left is our medical centre here, which is staffed by a fully trained nurse. But do come upstairs where we house years 1 and 2 of our pre-prep. What you can't experience, which I can have to tell you, is how the steps are brilliantly planned to be the right size for little children. Once again, we have this wonderful match of tradition, but absolutely fit for purpose for teaching young children. Come through to a classroom. So this is our younger children. They're in year 1, and so only a few in today because this is being filmed during lockdown, and these are our key worker provision children. So doing plenty. This is the brilliance of Luchtens, where look at the setting of the school. As we walk out, and we're immediately looking out onto our wonderful grounds. A full range of playing fields, and also an astro, which we'll show you later, and also a professional tennis court. We have a tennis academy here, and Amesbury is known for that. But it's more about that as we walk around and see the sporting facilities. So let's have a wander down here. So that was years 1 and 2, and as you can see, he's a clever man as he adapted both the aesthetic and the practical, and they have a lovely time up there. But now they're moving on to using the main school facilities, and we'll walk down there now. So what is the education that we're trying to offer at Amesbury? Well, one of the most important things, of course, is preparation for senior schools, and that has changed dramatically after in the last few years in prep school, in that a lot of the preparation now happens in time for year 6 examinations rather than year 8. And I will talk later about what we do for senior schools. Now, on my left is our staff room, one of the most beautifully converted buildings here. Then over on my right, and you can see the beautiful cutout, is the Performing Arts Centre. Amesbury has a wonderful reputation for the performing arts, and it has such a major role to play, not just in helping children to express themselves and to gain confidence, but also it's part of the gender equality here. Sport's good, and you'll see the playing fields and the other facilities soon, but we balance that with excellence in the performing arts as well. What this means is that you can move away from stereotyping. Boys can be celebrated not just for the sports field, but also for dancing and music, and girls similar. In other words, there becomes no issue as whether you're a boy or a girl, whether you dance, sing, play sport, and that helps us to emphasize gender equality. So moving on, we have here on our left our very, very traditional and very, very celebrated, very, very sort of honoured chapel. Do come in. Our chapel. We come here often, and with either year groups or classes. We are a Christian school, and but I think the most important thing that we teach our children is to accept ideas, beliefs, cultures from all around the world. That's what we really want from our chapel. We want children and adults to be able to come in here to celebrate our tradition, to celebrate our culture, but also to be able to sit quietly and decide for themselves where they are with religion and with how they accept the differences of others. It's a very, very important place to us. Of course, you can see from its size that it doesn't fit the whole school. So for our great celebrations, we go to the local church in Greyshot. Over there, that's the sports hall. And again, we'll come to the sports hall later. On our left is our learning support department. And so what do we do for learning support? Well, when a child first arrives at Eyfs, depending on their age, we will always do a small informal test to make sure that we place your child in the correct stream of the academic levels, and also to make sure that if there are some learning challenges, then whether we can address them. That's the real, we're non-selective, but at the same time we have to also accept that there are sort of extremes of learning support that we can't offer. We're now looking at our major teaching block, which houses our science labs and about 14 classrooms. and this is where years 3 to 8 live. I need to say something to you about years 3 and 4. Now, in the state system and in most prep schools, years 3 and 4 normally have one teacher who will teach the bulk of the subjects to their class. This is not the case at Amesbury. From years 3 to 8, children encounter specialist subjects. So that starts in year 3. So because we are such a relatively small school with strong pastoral structures, the children really do embrace this and enjoy meeting different characters for different subjects. We're moving on now to one of our architectural gems. One feels that if you're on the site, which was originally designed by Lutyens, you need to stand up, get up to his standard. And this is our art block here, and you can see with its remarkable roof. We do really value our co-curricular provision. Work hard, play hard at Amesbury, and find something that you really want to do. You don't come to a school like Amesbury if you just want to work in the classroom. You come to a school like Amesbury to grow, not just here, but also heart and soul. You want to move on at year 7 or year 9 with great interests, and you want to go to the senior school where you can then further develop that interest. Let's go and have a look in the art room. So this is the library, and this prompts an interesting part of the tour because, of course, in the library there are lots of books, unsurprisingly. But I also need to tell you that we are at the forefront of digital learning, and that from years 5 to 8, every child is given a laptop by the school, and a lot of learning takes place on the laptop and through that medium. Of course, it stood us in great stead during lockdown, but let's think beyond that. It is the way of the world nowadays, and although we don't neglect the written word, nor do we neglect handwriting or just normal books, we are a Microsoft leading school in our provision of digital learning. Right, mens sane in corpore sano. Let's go and have a look at our facilities for games and sport. The independent system has always based its ethos and its culture on the provision of sport, and Amesbury is no different. The girls get in the autumn term, they play netball and the boys play soccer. Then we move over, the boys move to rugby and the girls move to hockey, and then the girls move to soccer and the boys move to rugby. In the summer, everyone plays cricket, and as I mentioned earlier, we are a tennis academy, and so all children get the chance to take their tennis to the highest standard they can manage. For that, we need the facilities. Ahead of us again is the outside of the sports hall. We'll poke our nose in there and have a look. And on my left, as we walk around here, you can start to see the provision of our professional tennis surface. And this is then complemented by a multi-activity AstroTurf, and as you can see, it's set up for a variety of sports. We can play hockey on it, we can play netball on it, we can play tennis on it. So, and of course we can have our playtime on it, and as you can see, it's also floodlit. Overlooking it is the dance studio, which is a lovely place to watch the sport when the weather's not so clever. It's a great place where we congregate for match tea afterwards, and its main purpose is as a dance studio. Remember what I said about the performing arts? As important as our sport. Must emphasise that. This is our sports room. What has been interesting during lockdown has been how we've been encouraging children to come in their games kit. And if nowadays games kit can be very smart, if we can cut down on the amount of changing, which of course is time wasted for children, then that's great by me. So that is probably something which we will continue even when school resumes to normality. And then into our main facility in the sports multi-purpose. With some wonderful bits of history with the honours boards going right back. If we come over here, you can see the honours boards from 1887. And of course we can use this sports hall as well for prize giving and assemblies, but it's primarily for use by all the children for activity, whether it be their PE, for their gymnastics, for great shows. It's a multi-purpose, but primarily sport. And then, of course, we have all the external grounds. We've seen a glimpse of them. If we wander out now, then we can see them in their full glory. I think one of the best moves which has happened at Amesbury in the past 5 years has been the acceptance that really and truthfully of children of this age there should be absolutely no difference in the provision for genders. So the only area where we're still debating, and especially in the light of the discussions going on within the sport itself, the girls don't play rugby yet. Boys continue to play rugby, and we look at what's happening with the concussion studies with interest to see how youth rugby will develop. That's also the case in football as well with heading, so we're very mindful of that. Lessons we have learnt recently is that we don't have to keep playing fixtures every time there is a games afternoon. Yes, we enjoy our competition against our local rivals and we enjoy that healthy competition, but we are also going to cut back slightly from that, because there's also evidence that some children also enjoy a week off from fixtures, so where they can just practice and play, and I think that's very valuable knowledge. But if you look around, you can see that there's plenty of space for everyone, and here's someone who definitely enjoys the space. And so let's see how the school dog, how Zeffie enjoys them, very much so. So she's a great addition to the school, fun enough. Recently Zeffie's played her part as well coming into school. A day when a child just isn't too keen to come in, what I do is hand that child the lead and Zeffie walks them in. It's a very powerful tool. We have a wide range of senior schools to access around here. There is the Guildford schools, there's the RGS Guildford High School for girls, Tormead School for girls, and also St Catherine's in Bramley. We move into Hampshire with Lord Wandsworth College, and also Bedales, and Churches College in Petersfield, Ditcham Park. Then we drift round towards staying in Sussex to Seaford, and also in Surrey to Charterhouse, Priorsfield. A large range of schools, and if your child wishes to go off further to board, then we have experience of all schools really in the south of England. So that's us. I can't wait to welcome you to Amesbury in person. Do stay in touch with Liz Wright, who is head of admissions here, and thank you for joining me on our virtual tour.